Welcome to Nintendo K channel. I am Danny. I want to welcome to this guide where I'll be showing you how you can connect a PC or a computer mouse to Nintendo Switch to play Game Builder Garage. Now, obviously you can play with the Joy-Con or Nintendo Switch Pro Controller and will do just fine. But if you do have a mouse laying around, it can actually help you expedite and makes the whole experience in building your dream game even better. So as you're watching this guide, if you found it helpful, I do appreciate a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more helpful videos like this. So you're wondering what's the benefit of having a mouse and connecting it to play Game Builder Garage. So obviously you can, again, I mentioned, you can use your analog stick on your Pro Controller or a Nintendo Switch Joy-Con and you'll be fine with that in building your entire game. But if you do have a mouse, if you ever use one on a PC, you'll know exactly what you're dealing with. Obviously, it's a high precision tool that you can navigate through the screen and click on certain items and drag them and obviously select items. If you went on the internet with a computer, you know exactly what that experience is like. So imagine that transition into Game Builder Garage. If you were connecting node-ons, placing them in certain locations, rearranging them, or connecting commands, or just shifting things around. You can even scroll through a screen, like making it bigger or smaller, so you can enlarge your view of the entire program screen or minimize it depending on you want to focus on a certain area, and that will be very helpful for you to just go through the process of building your game much more efficiently, making use of time, because obviously building a game does take quite a bit of time, and the mouse will indeed be beneficial in that way of workflow. So the way to connect a mouse to Game Builder Garage is through the Nintendo Switch dock. You do need to have a dock to make it happen. So if you happen to only have Nintendo Switch Lite, this would not work. You would have to have the base Nintendo Switch with the dock, and you have to play it in TV mode. So if you're playing handheld mode, that would not work either, because it all goes through the dock, and it does require, if you probably guessed it by now, you need a USB connection with the mouse. So I have used various mouses to test it. Obviously, I don't have every mouse in the world to try it out, but I did try a standard mouse that does have a connector, like a USB Type A. Obviously, this is a standard connector that any PC peripheral, even Nintendo Switch charge cable would have, and that's the same connected with connected to the dock. Or you can use a mouse like something like this, a wireless mouse that does work. I tried it with this dongle. It does have a USB Type A connector and it works fine. The key thing is, I do notice that as long as the mouse doesn't require extra drivers, like if you were connected to a computer, it's plug and play, you can just use it right away. If it does require some kind of special drivers, then it more likely will not work. Again, that's obviously, I'm just using mouses that I have around. There may be some incompatible ones there, but for the most part, it does work. Just a few things that to be aware of when you're using a mouse. You can use the scroll wheel to zoom in and zoom out of your program screen, but you do need to still use your Pro Controller or Joy-Cons to play the games that you made. So you do need both on hand. You can't play the whole entire game in a mouse, but you do have to have both on side, so that way as you're programming your game with your mouse, you can switch it to the game screen, and then you can play with the Pro Controller or Joy-Con, and that's how you're going to test it, flip it back and forth, and expect the process with your mouse. The way to connect it is actually through the USB Type A connectors on the side of your Switch dock. They're located on the left from the front with the logo, and there's one connector on the back. In case you're wondering, you never knew, you flip the flap open. There's a connector with all the HDMI cable and a power port as well. So that is the location of the 3 USB ports that you can use to connect your mouse peripheral to Nintendo Switch. So that's all there's to it in using your mouse for Game Builder Garage on Nintendo Switch. I hope you find it helpful. This is just a little tidbit that many people are not aware of. Obviously, the natural thing is to use a Joy-Con or Pro Controller and have a good experience, which you can. So if you find this episode to be helpful, I do appreciate a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to Nintendo K for more helpful videos like this coming your way. I am Danny. I'll catch you again on the next episode.